The doors aren't going to open today at all when the sun comes up, and that's going to catch a lot of people off guard. This is certainly one of those days that a lot of people hoped was avoidable, but the sad reality is when the money dries up, the doors have to close.
First I was like, well, it's just going to be closed for at least a month, but then she said it was going to be closed. My sister told me it was going to be closed longer, so I was like, wow, I've been going here so long. This is like part of my family now, and it's gone.
You know, you might not know this, but the Boys and Girls Clubs are run by the Salvation Army, and they serve about 2,500 kids and families in the area. Each club costs $250,000 to $300,000 every year. Much of that relies on donations, and the reality is those donations simply aren't what they used to be.
All right, so my name is Mia Thompson. I am a sophomore at the University of Kentucky. I'm a dual degree major, majoring in family sciences and community leadership and development with a minor in African American studies. My entire life there's been cops that just sit around from the time your middle school and elementary school is getting out of school to midnight. They will just sit in certain parts of my neighborhood and around the parks. Because I live close to Shawnee Park and I live close to Chickasaw Park. And there are cops that just will sit on Broadway or sit at the park, parking structures inside of Shawnee Park and just wait to see any criminal activity. So speeding, and missing a stop sign, anything, they're already there. They're already there to criminalize you. So it's like, even though they're there, you still see crime around it. Like growing up, I had my mom and dad give me the talk about police officers, about making sure you're more respectful, making sure that you don't do anything to and criminalize yourself as well as make them not like you and make them fearful of you. Because that's the real problem. The real problem is it's not really a question on whether I've been scared of cops or not. It's always been the question of whether or not I scare the cops. So I was only home to sleep or only home to play baseball at the park when I would play baseball in the summer leagues. But it wasn't like she just let me roam the neighborhood when I was little. I had to get until 7th, 8th, 9th grade to just start roaming the neighborhood freely with my neighborhood friends. All of my friends would live in different parts of town, so my mom would drive me to those schools or to those neighborhoods because they were friends from school. I wasn't until started going to the local Boys and Girls Club. I went to Portland Boys and Girls Club. That was far, Portland's right next to my neighborhood. So going to there, and then I went to the Boys and Girls Club in Park Duval as well. So me starting to grow out of my shell, she started having to allow me to be outside more. The Portland Boys and Girls Club. Yeah, as soon as I went to high school, it got shut down. So that was really hard because a lot of the girls from my brother's age, my brother is 2 years older than me and I'm 20, so he's 23. So from the girls that were in the age group of 23 to my age group of 20, there was about 17, 18 of us. Right now, it was a ripple, I don't want to say it was a ripple effect after the Boys and Girls Club changed because I think there was 2 girls that got pregnant before the Boys and Girls Club closed. But after the Boys and Girls Club closed, the kids had nowhere else to go. Their parents wasn't looking for another place to put them in. They were starting to get older. You see, I was in high school by that time. A lot of us were in high school at that time. The kids didn't want to, we didn't want to go anywhere other than the Boys and Girls Club, and it closed. So that means that we had people that thought that they were young adults outside trying to make money, trying to do things, and trying to be grown adults. So when you're introduced to sex and things like that, there's only 2 of us out of that group of 17, 18 that don't have kids right now. There's only 4 of us that actually went to college. So it was hard seeing all those girls they were just losing themselves, and it's not like we weren't taught sex education. It wasn't like we weren't provided those resources. It's just they were so scared, I guess, to tell their parents that they were sexually active, and they just didn't want to get on things like that. Sometimes in certain families, you can't ask for that. You can't ask, hey, Mom, can I get on birth control? You can't ask, hey, Mom, can you take me to the gynecologist? You can't ask those type of things because it's supposed to be hush-hush and you're not supposed to do it. Or kids are lying to their parents, no, I'm still a virgin. And guys started sweet-talking them. They were not in the Boys and Girls Club anymore. They were home. They were more accessible. Their parents weren't home. That's why most people go to the Boys and Girls Club, because their parents will still be at work. Their parents will come pick you up once they get off work, which is right around the time the Boys and Girls Club closes, around 7, 8, sometimes even 9 o'clock. So from that time they're getting out of high school, 2:20. to 9 o'clock, you're free. Like, so without that parent supervision, without that idea that none of us we're all supposed to be somewhere doing our homework, things like that, having a central location where we had provided resources. Like there was an art room, there was a game room, there was the gym, there was a TV room, there was a computer room, there was a library inside there. Like there was so many different places where kids could just go and thrive and be kids. And we just had fun, you know, being around like the same people you're around for years, having fun, playing games. Like usually once you go to the Boys and Girls Club, people stay there. Like you end up being a part of the Boys and Girls Club family. So we had fashion shows for like Mother's Day and things like that. Then they also had a summer camp in the summer. So like not only would I be there as a supplement after school every day, I would be there in the summer during like summertime as my summer camp. So like I was around the same group of people for years, completely getting to know them, completely like seeing them as family. When you see a significant amount of people who felt like the only people that cared about them were those teachers inside the Boys and Girls Club or was those staff members, and you go from seeing them since 5th grade and 6th grade every day to not seeing them at all, having no clue where they are, not really staying in contact with them. Like everyone spread up and spread out after the Boys and Girls Club closed. Different people got different jobs and people moved on with their lives like they're supposed to. But those kids needed that support, and that support that was there was like they were fulfilling something that some people's families are not. Some people's families could not fulfill. We had a family, we were a family at the Boys and Girls Club, and they got tore apart, and people's life decisions were based on that. So yeah. None of us wanted the Boys and Girls Club to close. Salvation Army said they couldn't afford it anymore, and they couldn't pay for it, and they couldn't find anyone else to sponsor them, so it got closed. But that place, like that closing, affected all of us. It affected a lot of the kids. Some of the guys are dead now. Some of the guys are locked up now. Some of the girls are locked up now. They're people that have kids now. Like, that was a place that all of us went to just be kids. And without that, we had to grow up a little bit faster. So, like, I've seen people my entire life been locked up for different things, or go to, like, that juvenile boys camp, or go to, like, a JCYC, things like that. Like, it's normal now. Unfortunately, from the ages of, like, 6th and 7th grade, I've seen people be locked up. So, like, now it's nothing new to hear someone's locked up. And then I know my freshman year of college, within, I think, the first 2-3 months of college, over 10 people in Louisville got assassinated. Like, well, not assassinated, but murdered. And, like, it was just news. And these were all people that I went to middle school with, or people I went to high school with, or people I went to summer camps with, people from my neighborhood. It was, like, people that I knew, period. And that I had been knowing throughout my entire development, and to see that their lives were just lost, and like a lot of those cases never got solved. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a struggle, and everyone has something that they are going through, no matter the ethnicity, no matter the gender, no matter who they are as a person. Everyone has something that they've had to overcome. Everyone has faced adversity. And I'm not going to allow my adversities or anyone else's adversities to define the future I'm going to have for myself.